What's going on, YouTube? I'm AJ. I'm going to give you a quick breakdown of the DSC compensator on my 4¼ inch Springfield Prodigy. Now, if you haven't already seen my review of the stock Prodigy, I left a link in the description. Go ahead and check that out. This is just going to cover the changes present because of the compensator. Now, the compensator, as it comes from DSC, is a drop-in barrel kit, so no fitting required. It is a 3/4 inch dognose comp, which brings the Prodigy's overall length to an even 5 inches, making it sit flush with the X300, ergo classic Roland special spec. And I will say, I'm a little bit biased for this spec. I love how these guns handle. I like that the compensators are very light because essentially you're just getting a bored out hole without any extra weight on the gun. And it tends to be my favorite all-around setup for a 2011. Admittedly, I did have some concerns when it comes to just a drop-in barrel for a 2011. That said, this seems to have gone in fine. I had mixed results at the range, but that's largely due to the extra spring that DSC provides with the compensated barrel. So he provides an extra spring. It's fairly light, probably in the 7 to 9 pound range, and honestly, for the stock gun, it's just too light. I can actually stall the slide on the disconnector using that spring, and the gun was plagued with malfunctions using that spring. It just would not feed rounds consistently. Fortunately, I did decide to swap the stock spring back in and give that a go, and honestly, the gun performed lovely. Prodigies already have kind of a very distinct soft shooting characteristic. They have a very nice recoil impulse, and the DSC comp only serves to enhance that. So despite the shortcomings of the stock Prodigy, adding just the barrel and comp to this gun provided a significant step up in performance. The gun now shoots very soft, it tracks very nicely. I was able to run a 2.3 second plate rack with it, which, considering the mediocre trigger and less than optimal thumb safeties, I thought was pretty impressive. And again, once I swapped back to the stock spring, I didn't have any more malfunctions. So with that said, let's head over to the tabletop, take a little bit closer look at what you're actually getting. So a quick close-up of the DSC Prodigy comp kit. You can see there's a fairly large gap between the compensator and the slide itself. Not a negative for function, but aesthetically, maybe not exactly optimal. The compensator itself is a short-threaded cone comp, which is nice because you get to quite a bit of port volume without wasting a lot right here for threading. In design, it's very similar to how Terran Tactical does it with like their Sandviper series. The gun did run without issue using the stock spring out of the box as provided by DSC, and it took about 3 weeks from the time I placed the order to actually receive the kit. But does it shoot? Surprisingly well, to be honest. The compensator takes advantage of the Prodigy's already very nice recoil impulse and just enhances it. It flattens out the front end, it really softens up the overall recoil impulse, even using the factory spring as videoed here. Even when directly compared to much higher end guns like the Terran Tactical Sandviper or even the Staccato XC, the compensated Prodigy felt very soft in hand. In fact, even with the Prodigy's factory shortcomings, the gun was very quick on a plate rack. And with a little ignition work, the gun would become exceptionally formidable. No thoughts on the package. Would I recommend it? Yes, I would. I think it is an excellent addition, especially if you're running a 4¼ inch Prodigy. I would not recommend using the provided spare spring especially if you're using a stock Prodigy. I think with a little bit further spring tuning, you could really get this dialed in for a just awesome shooting platform. But I think where it would really shine is completing a full build, something from Shaolin, Mercier, Master Gunworks, something like that, including that on there. I feel like the end product's going to be a world-class gun. As I shoot this gun, even in this base stage, it just feels like it has so much potential. Admittedly, I'm kind of bummed that I'm not going to be taking the project any further, where one door closes, another opens. But I can say thus far, I'm genuinely impressed with this little package, and you're getting a lot of bang for your buck going this route. So that's my 2 cents on the DSC Prodigy 4¼ inch drop-in barrel comp kit. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.
So here's a little bonus shooting footage using the DSC supplied lightweight recoil spring, which was absolutely plagued with malfunctions, wouldn't fail, and just would not feed reliably. As you can see, ultimately building quite a bit of frustration and dissatisfaction with the package. All these problems were corrected, however, switching back to the factory recoil spring, and there probably is a sweet spot somewhere around the 12-pound, maybe 12 or 13-pound variable recoil spring. Would be very nice in this gun. You can see when it is functioning, the gun has a very soft recoil impulse, but the internals would need to be slicked up quite a bit to make this a functional package.